Okay, now we've got our lamp assembled. We're just going to run through some of the other options that you can do and the features that you can do in Onshape. I'm just going to get rid of this origin, so I'm just going to hover over it, right click and hide it, just so it looks pristine. So as you can see, we've got a basic sort of rendered 3D model here. What we can do over on this side, again, a lot of people who have got iPads and things struggle with the rotation, so you can actually rotate your model using this sort of little icon in the corner. So I can tilt it back, again I can sort of pivot it around the centre. I can also do a perfect front view if I wanted to, again perfect side view, all that type of thing, so I could get some sort of working drawing looking type things that you've probably used in DT in previous years, so you'll sort of recognise those different type of views. We're going to cover them a bit more later on. However, if you look at this little option down here, it says camera and render options. Again, there's some quite nice features in here. At the moment you can see I've got a basic shaded view. I can actually change that to shaded without edges. So again, it takes off the sort of black outline. I quite like the black outline on Onshape though. I think it gives a good effect. I'm just going to pop that back on. I can then do shaded with hidden edges, so you can see it'll put the sort of hidden detail in, so you can see where things like the screws are, all that type of thing. Again, these are sort of quite useful things for DT folders and trying to represent and communicate your ideas, that sort of thing, if you're using 3D CAD. We've got hidden edges removed, so again that produces quite a nice simplistic sort of outline drawing, a bit like sort of IKEA catalogue instructions I like to think about. So again, I think that's a really nice different view there. Again, you can also have that with those hidden details on as well. So again, if you've got any sort of complex parts or you're trying to explain how things are put together, that's a quite a nice view to do that with. So again, I quite like the sort of hidden edge view. I can also make it translucent. So again, I can make it all sort of see-through. So I get like a bit of an X-ray type of view again. You know, you can imagine how you can use all these different views to try and present your sort of ideas and that type of thing in design technology. One thing I would say, obviously, as part of this little lockdown project or work that you're doing in school, you know, it'd be nice to sort of evidence that they've used some of these functions. So, again, I would suggest that, you know, once you've got your work in a view that you like, you might want to take a screenshot of that, add it to your PowerPoint as evidence that you've actually looked at using the different sort of render features, all that type of thing. I wouldn't worry too much about the bottom ones, they're a bit more complex, but again, the other bits and pieces that we can have a look at, so we can actually, so at the moment it's in sort of perfect sort of 3D, we can actually turn perspective on. So again, you can see that it then creates a bit more sort of lifelike view of it. Again, sometimes depending on what view you do. So again, even in these views, you can see that I can still rotate. But again, that's a nice little view. And again, I can do all the different ones. So I could go back to shaded in perspective, all that type of thing. So again, that's quite a nice, nice sort of real life image there. We've then at the top 3 different sort of perfect 3D views. So we can do a perfect isometric. I'm just going to take off perspective. So I can create a perfect isometric there. So isometric is just this idea of everything, if you imagine a horizon line down the bottom, so everything at 30 degrees from that horizon. A couple of different options, very similar to isometric. Diametric, again, the angles are just slightly different, so you'll see this one's a little bit flatter. But again, you know, it gives you a trimetric as well, just a slightly different angle on this side here. But again, all the sort of basic ones, like isometric, we use quite a lot in design technology, so that's always a good one there. So that's the sort of basic functions that you can do around sort of render and different views. One thing that is down here that we haven't really covered, and again, sometimes quite nice, is this zoom to fit. So if you've ever sort of zoomed out so far and you think, well, how do I get it full screen? I can click that and then just do zoom to fit, so it'll enlarge it back to fit your window. And then I can also zoom to window. So if I wanted, you know, a bit more detail on this section, I can actually just drag a box around that section. It'll zoom in to that area, so you can do a bit more of a sort of detailed view of how things are put together and all that type of thing. So that's the basics of different views. Like I say, it'd be great to sort of screenshot a couple of different ones, explain which render option you chose, all that type of thing, so we can see that you can understand how you can get these different effects, all that type of thing.